Hey, beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. I guess you can call it a podcast. And we are here today to talk about Tommy. I know that's not the name of the show, it's Force, it's part of the whole Power universe. However, I love Tommy. It's all about Tommy. Let's get into it. All right, so the episode opens with Tommy smoking a cigarette on the lakefront. Y'all, I love the fact that it's in Chicago. He's just looking at the skyline, looking at the lake, smoking a cigarette. I guess because he ain't got nowhere to really sleep. Like, Tommy has nowhere to go right now. I mean, he got money. He could have just went to a hotel. Maybe he did. I don't know. But he's on the lakefront right now. And as they're showing him smoking, we see a bar getting all shot up. So I'm like, oh my God, they shooting up the girl's bar. Then he gets a phone call, and I'm like, she's calling him? And he's like, what? Then we see him go, and it's actually his brother that called. Now, his brother is the one all the way on the bottom in the red shirt. Right? Like, I didn't know that was his brother. I'm looking at this picture, and I'm like, who the heck is this guy? Yeah, I guess that's the brother. I think that's the brother. But anyway, someone has been shooting up his bar for a while. Tommy's like, listen, they trying to send you a message or whatever, and he has no protection. Like, he's not paying anybody to protect the bar or whatever. So I guess maybe that's why they're shooting up his bar. Tommy gives him 10,000. He doesn't want to take it at first. Tommy's like, listen, we gonna make this happen. And I thought it was so cute that they're bonding. I loved it so much. So when Tommy leaves there, he's driving. He's under the viaducts or whatever, and we see him stop by what looks like an old firehouse or whatever, and it has a for lease sign on there. And I'm like, yeah, that's where Tommy's gonna end up living, because we know he likes the whole loft type of feel, the whole industrial thing. So he just looked at it and kept going. Then we see Mr. Flynn. He is taking medicine while listening to a voicemail about his health. And of course, it always happens this way, that the person in charge, the big guy, has some sort of health issue. So he's all slumped over and coughing when his son Victor comes in. Victor's like, listen, let me take you to the doctor. He's like, no, and you can't tell anybody what's going on. This is kind of normal, par for the course for stuff like this. So then we see Diamond and his brother, Gernard, I think it is. They're on the punching bag. Gernard's trying to tell him, listen, you need to meet these young guys that's working for me or whatever. He's like, nah, they kind of hotheads, basically, is what Diamond was saying. And Gernard's like, nah, we need them. It's an investment. Y'all, my confusion with Diamond is, okay, is he going legit or is he not? Because the way his brother keeps coming to him, it seems like he's still in the game. He just doesn't want his hands dirty, which I get. But then he sounds like he wants out of the game. I don't know, is he in or is he out? But anyway, we see Tommy walking up with a bag, and the guys are waiting outside. So then out of nowhere, Tommy gets hit. And I'm like, what the hell? It ends up being the girl. You guys, this is the girl from Power, Red Shoes. She was either red shoes or pink shoes. I think her shoes were red. Gym shoe girl that was after him. And he's like, I should have killed you. I think her name is Liliana, something like that. She, I thought we were done with her. I was so irritated with her on Power. I really was. I was like, Lord, why didn't he kill her? But she's back. So they go through this whole little thing. The police come. They have to break it up. And again, he lets her go. All right, then we see the girl, the bar owner, in the shower. She gets out the shower. Who's in her house? I'm sorry. Who's in her house but Vic. Vic, still wants to be together. She's like, nah, we've tried this. We've done it to death. It's no good. He's saying once his father dies, he can get out the game, or he can change up his life, something. I don't know. I'm not very interested in their love story. She asks for a key back. He tells her no. I'm like, oh, look at that. Is he paying the rent there, ma'am? Because no, you would need to give me my key back. Now, Tommy finally makes it in to see Diamond and his brother. And Diamond's like, is this the white boy you was telling me about? He's like, yeah. So they check him, of course. One of the guys check him. Tommy's being very courteous or whatever. He's like, listen, it's right here. The safety's on. He gives him his gun. No problem. Okay, so Diamond asks Tommy who he work for. I don't work for nobody. Ain't got no ties. Work alone. He's like, man, alone don't survive long in these streets. I'm like, why is he talking like some sort of backwoods slave and stuff? Like, what the heck? And Tommy's like, yeah, that's some deep shit. So finally, Diamond's like, what's in the bag? He gives him the bag. They can't believe he's turning over the stuff. He's bringing it back. Gennard is like, oh, you dumb as hell. You should have at least kept the money. He don't want the money. That ain't how he work. So before he leave, Tommy let them know, listen, that stuff is stepped on with baby aspirin, so have fun with that. And he's like, we done? Diamond does his head like, yeah, okay. So he turned to leave, and the guy with the dreads and the hat is like, hey, we ain't done or something he was telling him. But he's walking up on him. Tommy's like, is there a problem? Oh, you want to start a problem? You don't want to start a problem with Tommy, sweetie. So Tommy grabs him by his neck, of course. And then the other two come running in. They drawing guns or whatever. Diamond is like, yo, lower your guns. They don't want to listen to him because who are you? We don't know you. We listen to Jannar. We listen to your brother. Who's giving the orders here? So there's this whole power struggle that's going on. Not good. But again, I'm very confused by Diamond and his involvement. He knew about the drugs. He knew about the money. He was fine with all that. Are you in or are you out? Like, I just keep asking that question. I don't know. I don't get it. Okay, so finally, Jannar told them to drop the guns, and Diamond's like, listen, let's go take a walk. So as they're walking in the alley, they get jumped, and they put bags on their heads and everything and take them. And I'm like, it is always something. Like when I tell you this show, there's something every second. You just cannot turn away. So they are in this warehouse, and we have this lady and this man. I guess they work for Roja or whatever, and they're like, listen, you did something to Roja. He don't want to kill you. You need to go and deliver this stuff. Bring it back in 3 hours. They want to know who Tommy is. They want to keep him. Diamond's like, nah, he's rolling with me. He's driving, or he's rolling with me basically. The guy stood up behind Tommy or something because they were saying that Diamond was trying to say that he's not in it. Then Tommy back headbutted the guy. He's like, okay, now I'm in it. So basically, the backstory with Roja, whatever, and Diamond, I guess when he was inside, they got into it, and he ended up doing something to his leg. So now he's in a wheelchair. Tommy's like, why didn't you just kill him? Nah, because I was inside. I didn't want to be in there for life, so I let him live. But of course, it was gonna come back on him. Yeah, when I tell you Tommy cracks me up, when they had them sitting in the chairs or whatever, and she was saying that they had to kill him because, you saw my face or whatever. He's like, you the one took the bag off my head. He says that's kidnapping 101. And yeah, that's when dude hit him or whatever. Oh my God, Tommy is so stupid with his mouth. Yeah, so then we're back with the Flynn family, and I guess the daughter's name is Claude or whatever, and she's in there counting money. Vic comes in, how's it going? Basically, she wants to introduce a different drug or whatever. He doesn't want to introduce it to the dad. She's like, you a punk. And basically, she wants to run it. It's like Coming to America, the whole, oh, the girl wants to be involved, but no, the man has to do it because the son is the next in line. Again, we've seen this. We know. Yeah, the father kind of treats her like shit because she's a girl. You just stay inside, stay in the office. You don't get to go outside. Okay, we get it. So it's Tommy and Diamond in the car driving to go make their deliveries that they have to make within 3 hours. They just kind of getting a little background on each other, and he's asking Tommy how many enemies he got. He's like, man, I ain't got no enemies here. And he's like, oh, wait, one. And he goes, oh, shoot, two. Wait, no, three. You know what? I might have a couple of enemies. Tommy's so stupid. Y'all love Tommy. He's so funny. So Tommy smart ass say, oh, okay, so since you've been gone, well, Diamond gives a story about, how he's been taking care of Jannard his whole life. The reason why he went at Roja was because he tried to get at Jannard and he had to put a stop to it. Tommy's like, yeah, so he's been holding it down the whole time you've been inside, doing the business and, dealing with the guys or whatever. How's that working out for you? Obviously not too well because now there's a power struggle, Tommy, which you saw. Tommy don't miss nothing, y'all. So they end up making a deal that, Tommy, because he stops the car, Diamond stops the car like, listen, what do you want? You're not a cop, so what are you in this for? He's like, just to make money. How much money you looking for? Whatever, at this point. You got me out of a jam. I'm working with you. So whatever you want to throw at me, cool. And then I go my way, you go your way. Deal, deal. Thought it's interesting that Tommy let him drive his car. It looks so strange to see somebody else driving Tommy's car. So we find out that they end up taking Jannard for a little extra added incentive for Diamond and them to get done. But now you don't have 3 hours, you have one and a half hours, something like that. It was just like super, like, get it now. But the police pulling up behind them. So the whole time, Tommy's trying to calm him down because, of course, he just got out. He's having a fit. I'm like, do you even have a license? You just got out of jail. Why is he driving, Tommy? I don't understand. But okay, I think because he's the one that's doing the delivery and the guy is just the driver. I don't know. He don't want his hands dirty. Y'all, Diamond has me so confused. I'm just gonna say it again. But the police come up and then they turn on the sirens. He's like, "Oh shit, they got us," and then they end up driving away. Yeah, that's happened to me a few times, and I've been like, "Whoo!" And when they drive away, you just be like, "Oh my god!" Even if you are fully legit, nothing wrong, just still when the sirens and stuff go off and they pull you over, it does a little something to you. Even though I should be used to it, you guys. I used to get pulled over speeding. I used to live in court. And I would know that if the person who pulled you over, if the police or sheriff or whoever doesn't show up, it's dismissed. So I would politely walk my ass up there, look at the judge, good morning, and she would be like, "Is the arresting officer or the officer here or whatever?" They wouldn't be here. She'd be like, "Dismissed." Okay, thank you, goodbye. Until I ended up getting a ticket for driving fast in a school area. And they were like, "No, no, no, we don't care about nothing. You are paying a whole 350 and then some." And once I had to pay, I was done. Done. When I tell you I do the speed limit now, done. I don't like coming out of money. All right, that was a little story time that y'all didn't ask for. Okay, so they make it to their first drop, and of course, all these places are warehouse type of looking places. This one is like a chop shop. Tommy ends up putting the drugs under a dumpster outside. He goes in. There's a lady. They call her Tia, which I guess is auntie or whatever. And they talking back and forth while the guy goes to get the drugs, and then she gives the money. But in the meantime, since it's a chop shop, Tommy's like, "Yeah, I drive a Mustang." And she's like, "I don't give a shit." I cracked up. But yeah, I think at some point they may end up getting along because he's like, "I'll find you if I ever need you," or something like that. She was like, "How do I find you?" He's like, "You don't, I find you." So I think at some point they may end up hooking up. But we'll see. I mean, not hooking up like that, but hooking up to do some business maybe. She's going to be back in it again, I'm sure. That's what I mean. So y'all, before they even went in there, I'm kind of jumping backwards, but before they went in, Tommy leans over the car and he tells Diamond, "Okay, you know what to do, right? So if I don't come out in a minute, and then he's like, "Yeah, circle the block." And he's like, "Yeah, and if I don't come out, then," Diamond says, "Yeah, then take off." He's like, "No, man." He's like, "Nah, I was just playing. Circle the block again." I'm not gonna keep saying Tommy is funny because you guys know, but I get a kick out of him. I do. So once they finish delivering and getting the money for the first one, they're in the car bonding. It's so cute, and they're talking about their love of money and getting high off of getting paid, basically. And I'm like, everybody loves getting paid. They just do it a different way. Diamond was saying how his first drop was in Cabrini Green, and it was huge when he got his first $10. All he had was a dime bag or whatever. He got his first $10. That was huge. He's like, "Jannar thinks everything is supposed to come real fast." Tommy's like, "Yeah, you can't do it that way. We had to really work for it, and that's how it's done properly, basically." Then they get a call. So this is where they get the call with the gun to Jannard's head, and they give them an hour. So it's not an hour and a half or whatever. They give them an hour to get it done. So then they got to put a move on. So then we see them at the next drop. We see these guys. They got on like Amish type hats or whatever. He's doing every kind of test he can to the drugs. And Tommy's like, "Yo, come on, come on, come on." So after he finished testing, he just gives them money like, "Okay, get out." In the meantime, Diamond was waiting in the car. It was taking so long. He's like, "Man, I need to go see what's happening." So it's a meat market up front. So Diamond goes in. He starts asking for some meat or whatever. Give me this, give me that. And while the guy's getting the meat, he's trying to see in the back. And the guy is seeing him looking in the back or whatever. So he got the guy getting cookies or whatever. Finally, Tommy comes out. Diamond's like, "Listen, I'm done. That's good. Good enough." And, they leave. All right, Tommy make it to the next spot, and it's more like a crack house. And the guy, you know how they kind of taste it a little bit? He wants to do a whole bump. Tommy's like, "Listen, don't bump it. Just taste it. I got to go." He does a bump. He ends up falling asleep. Tommy's like, "Are you nodding on me?" He ends up nodding. Tommy finds the money in his pocket and leaves. In the meantime, Diamond is out in the car and he's pulled over by the police. The police see him sitting in the car. He gets out, asks for license registration. He don't want to take his hands off the steering wheel because we know what can happen when you make a false move or if you move at all and they say it's a false move. So this was really, I mean, it's something that could be triggering because it definitely does happen, but it was very sad because he just got out. He's very nervous. He knows that, black men get killed all the time from just moving basically, and they will say it was a false move even if you're doing what they're telling you to do. So he's like, get it out the glove box. I am not taking my hands off of this steering wheel. So oh my god, when I tell you, it was so sad to see. Like, I hate seeing our black men terrified like that. I mean, I just hate seeing that. But ends up Tommy comes out. The white guy's like, the cop is like, oh hey bro, this is your Tommy's like, yeah, this is my car. Here's my license registration. Diamond, when they go back to run it, Diamond's like, what's he gonna find on the registration or whatever on the tags? Tommy says nothing. He comes back, there's nothing wrong. All right, let's go. It's just ridiculous. I mean, just ridiculous. The cop had told him that it was illegal to text and drive or be on your phone and drive. And he's like, the car was parked. So it was all bullshit anyway. You just wanted to stop. And he totally had his gun pointed the whole time, telling him to get stuff out or whatever with your gun pointed. So, yeah, just ridiculous. And then, yeah, when Tommy came out, he's just like, we're not in the red zone or anything. Like, what's the problem? And Tommy, it's a black man. He doesn't have to be in a red zone. He didn't have to do anything. I know I just backtracked a little bit, but it's all right. So they go take Versace shirt and the girl the money and get Jannard. They end up doing the switch. They didn't kill him. They took the money and gave him away, which was very surprising because they had all these people. They met up at like an auditorium. They had all these people with lasers on them, just ready to shoot. And very surprising that they didn't shoot him and they let him go, but they did let him go. So once it's over, they go to a car. A white car pulls up, gives Diamond 25,000. He gives it to Tommy. Listen, hard day's work. Here you go. He's like, all right, everybody's keeping their end of the bargain. And Diamond's like, how'd you know my real name was David? Because when Tommy came out and was talking to the police officer, he's like, yeah, I let my friend David, whatever his last name is, drive the car. Tommy's like, I pay attention when other people ain't looking. Diamond's like, nah, you ain't that deep. He said, you saw my name on the barber's license, huh? Tommy says, mm-hmm. And he's like, so why'd you take the ride? Tommy says, for backup. Nah. I saw your head on a swivel the whole time. You ain't backup. He's too smart to be backup, basically. And he took the ride because he wanted to know what was going on and who's who and what's what in the city. Tommy ain't stupid, y'all. So he ends up telling him, okay, watch your back or whatever. And they leave it at that. So I'm sure his grandma probably, showed him the movies. It's your mom or whatever, and he just didn't know who the little boy was. Now he understands that it was Tommy. He says, "Listen, how could you leave your other son like that?" And Tommy, Tommy trashed his mom, so he don't care. But he's like, "I can never do that to my son." So then we find out that number one, we find out that he's gay, and he had a lover or whatever. He asked Tommy if he had an issue with that. Tommy says, no, I don't care. This was a little bit earlier when he gave him the first 10,000. And now we find out that he has a 16-year-old. Come to find out, the 16-year-old is one of the knuckleheads that work for Jannard. Because they show him with, he got his little locks or whatever. And I don't know if it's the main guy with the locks. He's a cutie pie. But yeah, that's his son. He's got the guns and everything. And then we see him look at a picture of him and his father. So yeah, that's him. He hadn't seen him since he was 2 years old. The brother made a comment about when he got out. So he ended up doing time too. Did they ever say why? Like, Tommy didn't even say, oh, you was inside, what for, or nothing like that. Maybe it'll come up later. But Tommy ends up giving him more money. At first, he tried to act like he didn't want to take it. He didn't take it directly. Tommy had to sit it down, but he gonna take that money. Okay, and after looking back, the son is one of the ones. He had like a scarf on top of his locks. He was not the one with the hat on that Tommy ended up kind of roughing up a little bit. So that's good. He ain't try to beat him up. So after we see his son like putting away his gun, looking at the picture and everything, and we hear the sad story, of course they're gonna end up finding each other, which is good. Hopefully he can get them off the streets. But jumping ahead, so we go back and we see Tommy. He's sitting in of course, like another warehouse type area. He's sitting on top of a car, and you just hear people like banging on the on the trunk, like, let me out, let me out. Then we hear who it is. And they're like, when Roja find out, you're going to get in trouble, this and that. So they're banging. It's the girl and the guy. Tommy ends up getting up. He lights a cigarette. First, he pours out liquor or alcohol or something flammable. And he lights a cigarette and blows them up. He blows up Versace's shirt and the girl. But he has the shirt. Then we see Tommy walking up to the barber shop and knocks on the window. He has a hood on and everything. Yeah, I love Tommy. Did I say that already? He knocks on the window. Diamond, Jernard, and the main guy with the locks with the hat. They get up. They walk over to the window. Tommy shows the Versace shirt, letting them know, yeah, he got them. And somebody said something. I don't know what they said on the inside. Somebody said something. I rewound it a couple times. I couldn't make it out, but they see that Tommy ain't no joke. So he ends up going over to the bar because he had texted her to see if she was there. She's like, yeah. He goes to the bar. He ends up kissing her or whatever. She tries to tell him there's someone else. He's like, there always is. Looking through the window is Victor. So he's like, this motherfucker. I'm like, yeah, you just cannot get rid of Tommy. Then when you think it's over, no, no, no. Tommy is driving in his car. He goes and yes, he goes to buy or lease the place where he's gonna live. So we see that he ends up getting a map or whatever. I don't know what the map told him, but we see him going to find Gym Shoe Girl. And they get into a fight again. And I'm just like, again, I'm like, why won't you just kill her? Just kill her. He wants to know who sent you. How'd you know I was here? She says, nobody sent me. I figured it was you when they said some white boy came. And so basically she found him. She was like, I tried to find you before you found me. They're going to end up working together fine. I don't know why he won't just kill her. Also, when they were fighting, his foot went into the floor and he found some drugs and it had the spider on it. I remember seeing that logo somewhere. I guess it was from probably Power, regular Power. What was that, you guys? Can somebody help me out with that? Because I know it means something. Because the episode ends with him looking up at her saying it's, good running into old friends. So that's definitely some. Is that some old drugs? Is she selling old drugs? Y'all tell me what that meant. All right, if you are still here, you are the real MVP. I appreciate you. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next video. Smooches.